welcome back to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. Thank you all guys for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for your love, for your support. I really appreciate each and every one of you that have supported my channel. I actually don't take it for granted. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all guys. Okay guys, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to cut and sew a 6 pieces maybe / 8 pieces skirt with a butt cut. So that's what we're going to learn how to do. When I say butt cut, you know, for those people that have butts, and so most times you see some people when they make skirts, you see that the bum part is kind of flat. So this kind of butt cut skirt helps you to accommodate the butt, so that gives it one kind of very, you understand what I mean. So that's what we're going to learn how to cut and sew today. So if you are new to the channel, you're highly and very welcome. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. I would appreciate if you hit on the subscribe button and then hit on the bell on the side to get an update whenever I upload a new video. If you want to register for my online classes, you can just see my number scrolling through the screen. Send me a message on WhatsApp. I'll give you the details of the classes we have available. And you can also follow me on all of my social media platforms: Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, all at Stylish Naija. Okay guys, so these are the measurements that we're going to be making use of. The waist measurement is 34. You divide 34 into 4, we're going to have 8.5. The hips is 44. You divide by 4, you have 11. The full length of our skirt is 47. The knee length, that's from the waist to the knee, is 21. And then the knee circumference, that's the round part of the knee, is 40 inches. So these are the measurements that we're going to be making use of for today's tutorial. So let's get started. So I'm going to cut on the lining first, and then before we transfer to the fabric. Okay, so you can see I folded my fabric. So we're going to cut out the center part first before cutting out the side. So you can see the length. So the length that I'm using, the length of the skirt is 47, so I added 1 inch to it to make it 48. And then for the center part, depends on how wide the fullness of your skirt, so that's what you will use to fold. So for the center part, mine, I folded it at about 13 inches rather. So after stitching out all of my allowance, so I'll just use 12 inches. That's 13 inches. That 1 inch will just be stitched, so I'll have about 24 inches. So the center part will be as wide as this, so that is what will give it a very good fullness. Since I'm going to turn this pattern into 8 pieces, so I'm still going to hold the center front just to give it like a little bit of division there. So the next thing we're going to do now, we're going to insert our measurement. So I'll come to this part, I'll mark my 9 inches. So I'll mark 9 inches, which is for my hip line, and then my knee length. So for the knee, I'm making use of 20 and a half inches for my knee. So the part where I'm going to shape, I'm going to come, if you have been following me on cutting skirt, you know there's what I used to call a new knee. That's, I'll come down a little bit with about 1 inch or 1.5 inch. This actually helps you shape that knee. It gives you that slimness at the center. So I'm just going to come down by 1 inch. So you can still use your normal regular knee. Just take your tape on your clients, measure from the waist to the knee for you to get your knee measurement. And then this is my full length. Okay, so the next thing now, I'm going to come to this center part. So for this center part, I'm going to use bust span, because if that center part, that middle part, if it is too wide, it will not be fine. So for that part, I'm going to use about 9 inches. So it's not going to be too wide. So that 9 inches, remember that I'm going to hold this on the center. So that part that I'll hold, I'm just going to, okay, I'll add, just leave it that way so it's not confusing. So on this part, so I'll mark that 9 inches. I'll add 1 inch to it just to make it 10. So to give me allowance where I'll be able to stitch it. So I'll mark it like this, that 10 inches. I'm just going to run it across. I'll run it on the 10 inches like this. I'll run it to the hip line. This is my hip line. And then from this hip line, when I come to the knee line, you're going to notice what I'm going to do now. I'm going to reduce it on the knee side. So for the knee side, I'm not going to use that 5 inches because I want my skirt, I want it to shape very well. So I'm going to reduce it back with 1 inch. So from this point like this, I'll just take my ruler like this, and then I will mark it like this. So if you notice that it is not entirely straight. And then from this part, I'm just going to take my ruler like this, and then I'll take it to the edge. So I'll take it to the edge of my skirt, so you can see what I have here. So I reduced this part by 1 inch. So I'm just trying to explain all of this so it's not confusing to you. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cut out my pattern. So at the end of the day, you can see what I have. So I'll use this now to cut out the back piece. Okay guys, so now we're going to cut the back. So because of the butt cut, if you notice, normally I'm supposed to place the back piece like this, and then just add a little bit of zipper allowance to the back and then cut. But no, because we are creating a bump, we are going to add a little bit of inches to it and then create our zip allowance on the side. So for this side, for the zip allowance, normally I'm supposed to use 2 inches or 1.5 inches. I normally use about 1 inch or 1.5. So for this, I'm just going to use about 1.5 inches on the waistline part. And then this is my hip area. So on my hip area, I'm going to come into my hip with about 2.5 or 3 inches. I'm going to come in on this side with 3 inches. So here's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to curve it like this, so you can see like I'm creating like a bump effect. And then on the knee part, I'm going to still maintain my 1.5 inches that I'm using for the zip allowance. So I'll create it, I'll curve it in like this, and then this comes like this. And then I'm just going to maintain it, that's 1.5. I'll just maintain it until I get to the down part of my skirt. That's to get the down length. So I hope you can see what I have here. So you can see how it is looking like a shape bump on the side, or that's on the back. So I just want to make sure that you can see what I just did there. So I'm just going to go ahead now. I'll cut it off now, and then we'll cut out the sides of the skirt. You can see what we have. So this is the back piece. So I'm going to just notch the zip part. Okay guys, so you can see this is the front piece now. So I'm going to cut out the side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this like this and place it here, just so you can fold this fabric. You can decide to fold this fabric into 2, because at the end of the day, it's 4 pieces of this I'm going to cut out. That 4 pieces is going to be 1 on the right of the front, 1 on the left, and then the 2 sides of the back. So I just want to try and conserve my fabric, just like manage it. So I'm going to place it like this. So you pin this, you turn it, just turn the back, and then, so what we're trying to do, we're trying to get this shape, because you know this is where you join it. So we're just trying to get out this shape here. So I'm going to, for sake of clarity, I'll use my chalk. So I'm just going to use the same shape on the side of the center front like this. So because you are going to join it, so you need the same shape so you can see it. So I'm trying to pull it on the camera so you'll be able to see it properly. And then we're going to cut, just trim that side like that. Okay, so now we have the shape now. So the next thing now, we're going to mark all of our lines. So you open it up back, and then you turn it like this back, and then make sure you just pin it on top so it does not move, just to secure it. So just pin it back on, and then make sure that your hip side is on the hip, and then the down part. So this side like this, don't mind about this part that is coming up like that, just leave it, let it be up. And then make sure that this side also, you can see, because of that mark that we did, make sure that it is staying on it. Okay, so now we're going to take out our full body measurements. You can see what I did initially, but my camera did not capture it, so I had to do it back. Thank God that I saw it. I've not finished everything, so I'm going to cut it. I'm going to show you guys again how to do. So after placing it like this, that was actually where it stopped. So you mark the knee line, and then you mark your hip line, and then the waist. So the next thing you are going to do is you're going to mark the waistline measurement. So you know the waist, we use 8.5 inches. So I'm going to mark, so because I want mine to have a joining at the center, so I'm just going to leave that half of an inch that I'm going to use to join it. But if it's normal 6 pieces that you don't want to join the middle, just mark your waist measurement, now your full waist measurement. So we're using 8.5, so I'll mark the 8.5 here, and then I'm going to add my normal 2 inches stitching allowance for skirts when I'm making skirts. And then on the hip line is 11, so I'll place the 11 inches here also, and then add my 2 inches stitching allowance. So on the knee line, I told you that I'm using 40 inches for the knee. I'll mark 10 inches divided by 4, all of the measurements, because these are the full body, this is the full final measurement. I'll add my stitching allowance, and then I'm going to connect my skirts like this. You can use your pattern curve. So I'll come to the knee part. So for the down part, you are going to determine, you know, initially for the down part, we actually used 12 inches for the first one that we did. So for this, I'm just going to check what I have on my fabric. So I have about 18 inches. So I'm going to consume the entire length of my fabric. So I'll use my ruler like this, and then I'll place it on this knee part. So I'm trying to shape that knee part. So I just shaped it more. I came in a little bit more because I saw that it was not well shaped. So I'll take this like this, and then I'll mark it to the down part of my skirt. So I'm just trying to get the full length, and then from this part like this, I'm just going to do this. So I'll shape it to the down part of my skirt. So after stitching, that's when I'm going to curve the down part. So I just want to make sure that you can see it before I cut it out again. Okay guys, so you can see I finished cutting all of my pieces. So this is my center front, so this is the side, and then my center and the back pieces. So see all of them. So I'm going to show you guys now how we're going to start stitching all of them together. So you will stitch the fabric. Since we're doing an inseam, we'll stitch the fabric separately and then stitch the lining separately. So that is what we'll do. So I'll take all of my pieces, I'll put them on the side, take all of my lining, put them on one side, and then take my fabric to one side. So that's for the fabric piece. So I'll show you now how we're going to stitch this. So this is the back piece. So I'll just keep the back. Let's work with the front piece. So this is my center front. So normal stitching, I will take this is the wrong side, and then I will take one piece here, and then take this other piece here. So I'll stitch it from the top down and then from the top down. So with the extra inches that I have, I'll just go ahead and do that both for the back and the front, and then I'll bring them back and show you how they would look like. Okay guys, so you can see, so I finished stitching them. So I'm going to show you. So this is the back piece, the two back, and then this is the front piece. So for my front piece now, I'm going to show you. I said I was going to turn my skirt to 8 pieces skirt. So I'm going to fold it like this. You can see how full my skirt is looking. So here's what I'm going to do. So this is the knee part, this is the waist part. So I'm going to use that my 1 inch. I just want you to see how I'm going to shape this skirt right now. So once I get to this knee part, I'm going to come in a little bit. So on this part, I use 1 inch around the knee area. So you can see I came in by about 1.5. And then I'm going to give it a nice curve here. And then after curving it here, I'm just going to float this into this point. So I'll use, for the down part, I'll just use 1/2 inch to hold it. So you can see the shape. So this will give it that 8 pieces shape on the center. So I'll go and do that now. And then we'll join. I just want to place the back and the front together and then shape the down part of our skirt. So this is the zip part. So this skirt, initially I was going to make it like an inseam, but I'm not going to make it an inseam again. I changed my mind. So I'm just going to do it the normal lining, full lining skirt. Okay. So just make sure that everything is laying well. And then on the down part, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to give it just a slight curve like this. So just to flow this part a little bit in. I don't want the length to truncate. So I'll just trim off this part like this and then take out this part like this. And then I'll go and turn it with my lining. So I'll show you how I'm going to turn it now. So I'll turn them separately. Since I said I'm not making an inseam again, because the owner of the skirt is not here to do a dress fitting. So that is why I changed my mind. So this is how we're going to turn it. This is the down part. I'll open up the front like this, and then I'll take my lining like this. I'll place them so you can see. Make sure that they all meet, so you can see what we have. So this is how it's going to look like. So you shape it. You just make sure you check it that everything is the same before you start. So you can see mine is a little bit big. So I'm going to trim it. Make sure I'll place the lining on it and trim it like this to make sure that everything is the same. And then I'll sew it on the down part. I'll take it back to my machine and then I'll sew the down part like this. So right side facing right side. I hope you can see it. I'll sew it on the down and then sew it on the side also. So the only part that is going to remain is the waist area because of the band. So I'll do that and then bring it back and show you. Okay guys, so I have finished teaching. So I'm going to show you guys now how it looks like. So I've spun, I've ironed, so you can see how beautiful it is looking. So this is the back piece. So actually it's the back that we're going to work on. So this is the back. So I'm just going to place them like this. This is the zipper allowance part. So you can see how fine our skirt is looking. So I'll turn them like this. So we're going to close the zip allowance area. So just make sure that you place them. Let them align properly on the down part since it is a full lining. Okay. So the next thing, so from that zip allowance part, you are going to mark. So note that our zipper allowance is not going to be straight because it is a butt cut. So you are just going to maintain that curve that we added to create that butt cut effect. And then once you get to the knee area like this, you navigate the shape of the knee. And then you bring it down to the down part like this so you can see. So I'm just trying to adjust my camera. So the next thing, I'm going to take the front piece like this because I want to make sure that I check it so it is not too big or too small. Okay, so it is okay. So I'm going to come in a little bit on the butt side. And then on the knee side also, I'm going to come in a little bit more because of this front piece. So make sure that they are the same. So I'll join it like that, and then after joining the zip allowance part, I will open it, and then I will stitch. I'll use 1 inch on the side to join the back and the front together. So after joining this together, I'll place the front on it like this from the right side, and then I'll use just half of an inch. I'll join it to the down and then join it. So I'll do that, then iron it, and then I'll bring it back and show you how it looks like. Okay guys, so at the end of the day, you can see our 6 pieces / 8 pieces skirt looks like. So you can see the front because of that joint that I added. So now give it 4 pieces at the front. You can see how full, and then you can see the butt cut at the back that I was explaining. So you can see this part. I've not added the zip, but you can see it came out. So this helps to accommodate the buttocks into it nicely. So what is remaining is just for me to put my zip and then add my band. So for those parts, I'm not going to show it on this video because the video is becoming too long. So thank you so much. If you find this video helpful, I would appreciate if you hit on the like button, and if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. Thank you so much guys. I'll see you in my next video. God bless.